Hello there, it's Kim again, coming to you with another paper crafting video. My name is Kim, I'm from Wild Rose and Pearl, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based out of the Okanagan, British Columbia, Canada. So today I'm here again with Paper Pumpkin. Now, we have a Paper Pumpkin deal coming up for subscriptions starting December 1st, 2025. So when you get 3-month subscription, 6-month subscription, and 1-year subscription, you're going to be able to save on your paper pumpkins. And it's a significant amount. Almost one full paper pumpkin for free on some of these. Yeah, so I would suggest you go to Stampin' Up!, have a look when you see the paper pumpkin here, the paper pumpkin icon come up on the screen, press learn more, and you can come have a see at what that would be for a great Christmas present, holiday present. It allows you to get those for a savings, and you get like three or 6 or 1-year subscriptions, which is a nice lovely gift, a gift of joy and creation. Okay, so we're gonna crack into this one. This is the November paper pumpkin, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep, Wrapped in Cheer November 2025 paper pumpkin. Now this one will be similar to it's kind of a matching one. It'll be similar to October's in design, but it will be something different. It's just a paired one. So we've opened it up. We've got our Mossy Meadow as our color for this month. Those stamping spots are so great for when you go to like a getaway and you just need all the colors, but you want them in a smaller size. If you collect these, you can get quite an arrangement of colors. Okay, then we've got our stamp set. I'm going to come back to that because there's a printout that's a little easier to read, but you can see there's a little wreath in there. Okay, and then pull out our stuffing paper, put that aside. What have we got? What have we got? Ooh! Looks like we might have some boxes. Look at those bows and greenery. So cute. Okay, so with your paper pumpkin, you get a stamp set, stamping spot, and you get everything you need to create the projects within the paper pack. The only thing you would need, also when you get your first one, you're going to get a little Stampin' Up! Block that looks like this. It's a bit of a thinner block, but it is the same size as our ergonomic size D block. Our size D block, well, proper size D. This one's just a little thicker, as you can see, so I'm going to pull in the thicker one for today because it's nicer to grip on my hands. But you do get the block that you need, so it comes with everything you need. And the only other thing I would suggest bringing in is maybe a pair of scissors. I think that's all you'd really need. I'm going to bring in something called a take your pick tool because it makes my life faster and easier. Yeah, so I'm just going to open this up. All the adhesives you need, everything you need is in this kit. So it is a crafting box to go, other than that little block there. Other than that little block. Okay. Ugh. So I'm going to pull out our contents here. And then I will, look, these are cute. These are going to be cute. Oh, nice boxes. Okay, I'm going to put those aside. Getting ahead of myself here. Gonna pull out our instruction booklet here. Okay, so we've got instructions for, if I turn to the back, it tells me. Kit contains supplies for 8 tags and 8 boxes. 8 tags and 8 boxes. That's awesome. You could actually split up the tags and turn them into cards if you wanted to. So our coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are Basic Beige, Cherry Cobbler, Mossy Meadow, and Old Olive. Nice, good, colorful Christmas colors. This is called an add-on. If you have a die cutting machine, this is a fun little add-on. This die cut set will cover 3 months worth of designs. So when you purchase this, it will supplement or correspond with 3 months worth of design. So you get these 4 times a year. There's a QR code to show you a video on how to do this. And yeah, so then what we do is we open this up and we're going to start collecting all of our bits. So when you open it up, it's going to be that middle kind of page. Before you open it wide, it's going to be the middle page, and it's going to show us what we need. Number 1 and 2, we're going to need boxes, and then we're going to need the tags, the separate different tags. I'm also going to pull in here, show you what our stamps were. So the stamps were sending a little Christmas cheer from our home to yours, to and from. So nice tag with love, a gift for you, very cute. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, depending on how you do it. And then a lovely little wreath circle there. This is a really nice little set. I really like the font. It's very, I don't know how I would describe it. Like 1950s advertisement font. Just a nice color there. Okay, so we've got our dimensionals and glue dots and some matte red dots here. So those are part of our kit. Put my block and my scissors, my stuff off to the side here so I can get organized. So we're gonna need one of these boxes for number 1 and number 2. Oh, and then it looks like this fell out. Must have opened it hastily. There's some twine in there too. Okay, we're going to put the rest of them to the side. Then we're going to grab 1 green tag here, Uno green tag, 1 green, 1 red. Yeah, so just organizing. Put the rest of them aside. We've got 1 green, opposingly, of course. So the red piece here will go with the green tag. The green piece here will go with the red tag. 2. Oh, wait a second. I'm gonna need some of these, I think. Okay, so we need 1 of these pieces for just the top one. I'm only seeing 1 here. I'm not seeing 1 on here. Okay, maybe that's a different thing. We've got some extras though, for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Well, there's only 8 boxes, so we got some extras of those. We need some of these lovely bows. And they almost feel like, almost like watercolor paper, a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's just enough bows for the projects. And sometimes we get some extras, so that's why I'm counting. Sometimes you get a couple extras so you can make an alternative project with them if you so choose. We've got 1 bow for the top, 1 bow on the top one, 1 bow on the bottom one. There's just laser, they're like laser cut. So they have these little tabs that hold them in to the paper form. I generally like to trim those off. Kind of annoying to me. I see them against dark colors, so. Okay, and then we've got 1 sprig here. And we've got 2 sprigs. But it's showing, oh, okay, this is new. On this side is green. You can clearly see that, correct? Yeah. This side is basic beige. I have never seen this before in a kit where they've double-sided the color. So you're going to choose it based on the color side that you need based on the image here. Wow, cool. Okay, smart Stamping House. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. So you've got the green here, and then the tan color, the beige color on the other side. Okay, so we've got this second one. Sorry, I'm grabbing for the second one here. is going to be the beige, just because these pieces showed up and I started poking them out first. My bad. My bad. Okay, and then we've got the one with the longer leaves. That's going to be the green side, not the basic beige side. Oh, wow, is this ever fun? Okay, so those ones are going to go inside because they're not needed. There's no extras of those though. So, you know, be careful when you pull them out. But how cool is that? Brand spanking new. Have never seen that before. Brand spanking new. Okay, so this wreath here is all the way. That's this one here. And they're going with the off-white side, the basic beige side. Okay. We got some twines. We got some stamping. And then we've got this lovely one here that looks very similar to the stamp, which is why she's got me so confused. Okay, and delicate. So delicate, this one. The two little strips there. Okay, that's that piece there. And we're going to have the green side up. So cool. The light green side. The light green side is going to be up. I don't even know why they put a dark green side on this one. They must have just done them all, but that ever neat. Okay, I'm getting way too caught up in that. Put it away, Kim. Okay. Then we've got 3 dots. We've got twine, embellishments, glue dots, and then we've got to do some stamping on these. Okay. I'm going to open up my stamping spot first. Open my scissors like so. Pulling away from my body and away from my hand, I'm going to go to the seam of where the lid and the base of the stamping spot meet. I'll take my scissors and I'm just going to swipe it along that line a couple of times just to make a break in the sticker outside. There you go. Nice and open, and it's got a flap on it so it'll close nicely now. You can do both sides, take the lid right off, but I just like to have that flap so I can close it up again. Okay, next, now we're going to go to number 1 and number 2, and we're going to do number 1 and 2. Maybe let's put our box together first. Normally I would say go from these first. I just want to put my couple of boxes together. So I'm going to go a little backwards and do the last page. So I'm going to grab my box here. So we've got our box in this shape. We're going to put our flaps in and these flaps in. Oh, another thing you could bring in is a bone folder, or you could use the edge of your block to burnish your edges. I'm folding these in. It's saying to fold these in and fold these in. Then we're going to fold this way. Okay, so I'm going to burnish all my edges by using my block here. 1. I want to just have those fibers in the paper. I want to break those down a little bit. Just burnishing all these edges in like it calls for. And yeah, because I don't have my bone folder today, I'm just going to use my block. Why not? Burnishing all these edges. So this is not calling for any adhesive on this box. It is calling it for it to be pulled in. And then it's calling for these pieces to go over. And then there's a little groove in there. So we're going to tuck that right in. There's a little groove slit. We're going to tuck that right in. And then we've got our lovely little box. Look at that. Cute. I'll put that aside. I'm just gonna bring this one in and get that one done too. Let's just get them both done. 1, 2, 3. All of these edges. It's always nice to have little boxes this time of year. I am sure that that would fit a gift card as well, this little box. You could likely put a couple of Ghirardelli chocolates in there. What else could you put? Probably a couple of little chocolate bars, I'm guessing. Those little Halloween chocolate bars. If you got some extras lying around, you could shove a couple of those in there with your Christmas gift card. There we go. Tuck into the slit. Put those tabs in, wrap it around, tuck it into the slit. Tuck those sides in. Now that they're burnished, they come in quite nicely. There we go. Box number 2. Okay, let's go to tag number 1. So we're going to grab our Mossy Meadow. A gift for you with love. So a gift for you. And with love. Now, I'm not going to worry about this on the block right now. I'm just going to put it on. Then I'm going to try and get rid of some of the factory residue by just rubbing it off on the palm of my hand there. And then I've got a Stampin' Scrub off to my left here that I'm going to use to wash it off. So I'm washing off that stamp. Now I'm going to lay it down on my grid paper here, or the edge of a sheet of paper. You could lay it down edge of a sheet of paper. And I'm just gonna, because they want it on the stamp pad at the same time, I'm just gonna kind of line them up so I can see that they're looking pretty good. Then I'm gonna pick them up with my block. They come onto the block exactly how I set them up. Another great thing is you can use your piece of cardboard that comes in the kit. You can take that and you can do a couple of tester stamps on there. Make sure that the ink is attaching to the photopolymer stamp real nice. As you can see, I didn't take my block and try to stamp onto my pad. There's a lot of clickety clackety that goes on and that lid gets in the way. Easier for me to just take my stamp pad, turn it around, and put it directly on the stamp. I can also see where the ink is. So I've got good coverage there. So I'm just going to do a tester on my piece. It came in the kit, so why not? That looks great. That's showing up really great. Got a great image. So I must have got that residue off there. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull in my stamp here. So on this side, they've got it flipped over to the back, which again, I didn't realize. I didn't realize there was a back side and a front side to these. So this is the first time Stampin' M's done both sides of the paper. Look at that one. It's got a little green edge on it. Okay. How fun. Oh, it's the little things, isn't it? It's the little things that bring joy. For me, I get excited about all that little stuff. Makes for a happier life. Simpler life. Okay. A gift for you. We're going to stamp that right in the middle there. With love. Looks great. Put that aside. Now we're going to grab our little strip here. Merry Christmas. Okay, now that one has no printing on the other side. And I can see those little nibby things off of there. So I'm going to cut those off. Clean those up a little bit. There we go. Pull these off for cleaning. They can be cleaned up. Now, the one thing about Stampin' Up! Is whenever they do a stamp set for you, you always end up with extras. Some that just are not used, but are very complimentary towards the kit. So again, I'm going to do that little cleaning off of that residue, scrubbing it off. A quick little clean, make sure I get anything from my hands off of there. Line it up so it's nice and relaxed in its natural state. And then I just pick it up. Photopolymer is great because you can see right through it. Going back though, there will be a couple of stamps in here that we probably won't use. And they're great to use on other stuff. Remember when you use Paper Pumpkin, when you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, those stamps are yours to use for the future. So knowing that you get all these sentiments, almost all of them come with sentiments, you're getting all these sentiments that you can collect. You can always go back to them when you need some sentiments for a card. I've gone back to mine several times, especially the Halloween ones. Okay, Merry Christmas. There we go. Nice and stamped. Then we have to go to the other side of our tag. Oh, first time for everything. And we're going to stamp the wreath. So pulling that one off, grabbing our wreath. I'll put the top paper aside for now. Grabbing our wreath. Little cleaning up. I could do these beforehand, but I love the surprise of opening the box with you. So I don't do them beforehand. But I could. And you wouldn't have to deal with the shaky camera and all of that. But you get a genuine response when I am completely surprised by the double-sided paper. Probably sound a little more silly, but that's okay. Okay. Nice good coverage on that. And they've got the bottom of the wreath going to the bottom here. But it is pretty centered in that tag. Okay. Up and down, there she goes. All right. Next up, now we got to do all of our adhesives. So we're going to put this aside because this is what we're going to be adding everything to. So we're going to grab our Merry Christmas. We're flipping it over. I'm going to open up our little pack of adhesives here because it comes with it. So you get everything you need. Looks like mini dimensionals. We've got our bow here. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 on our bow. Looks like our bow has a couple of little pieces on it. I hope I'm not going off camera. Okay. Couple of little bits on there. That's quite a prominent one right in there. Feel free to fast forward through this bit if it's annoying. Okay, so we've got one there, putting that back in. We've got our lovely this wreath, and we're covering that dark green. That's what it calls for. And then this wreath, we're putting this one on green side up, so we're actually going to be going to the dark green side. Okay, now there's different adhesives on this because some of them are popped up and some of them are flat. So we've got our baby glue dots for this delicate one. And then we've got our dimensionals for these ones. So I did do that one already. So we're going to place a dimensional here and one on this end. Only one in the center of the bow. So we want those edges free. That backing's already coming off, so I'll just take it off. No big deal. Okay. Then we've got 2 dimensionals on this wreath. We gotta try and find a spot where it's nice and thick to put them in. where we won't see that dimensional from the back. And you know what? I don't feel like, I mean, you probably could without seeing it from the back, but I'm just gonna break it down into half a piece. That way I know for sure. You don't have to do that, but if you want, you can do that. And then you can probably put 3 little half pieces on there. 3 little half pieces, just so you got some strength on those dimensionals. You can also use the edges of this. The dimensionals go all the way to the edge. So if you ever feel like you need more, use these outside edges here. As you can see here, there's all these outside edges. Waste not, want not. Use them. They are very useful. Okay. And then, yeah, putting on 3 points. I'm going to go right there. Now I've got 3 points on. Okay. Next, this one here is going to have glue dots on it. And we're going to place one in there. That's a pretty good spot, pretty good wide spot. Placing another one. Oh, in here, right in here. That's what they're calling for, another wide spot. Okay, then we start off by putting our leaf wreath onto our holly wreath. Just like this. Placing this down here like so. So we're adhering those 2 together first. Then we're going to place this on here. I want to say we're going to place this. Did I get all the backings off? You can always check with a little touch on there. Okay. Place that right there. Should have probably put another dimensional under this edge. I'm going to. Just because I can, because I know there's extras. I just like a lot of stability when I'm doing stuff like this so it doesn't like pull and snag off. So I'm going to add another one back here. Should be fairly simple. We've got both the layers on now. So I got a little more thickness in my areas. Okay. That feels a little more steady now. Okay. Then I'm gonna Merry Christmas splayed across. I think I can do that now. And it's just above here. Okay. So I'm gonna Merry Christmas splayed across. I'm gonna pull it up so it stays puffy. Okay, we've got our bow on here, but I think we are tying some ribbon around. I think we're going to be tying some twine around. So it's calling for 12 inches of twine. And on your instruction sheet here, they have a ruler. So you've got 1 through to 12 inches. Let's pull this off once I find the end. Come on, end. Where have you gone? Gotta be somewhere in there. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Yay. All right. From 0 to 12 in 1 second. And I said that bow was not going to attach to anything. Remember that? Remember when I said that? Remember that time? Not so long ago, I said, oh yeah, that bow's going to be just fine. Not going to, that dimension isn't going to get in the way at all. Sure. Okay, so they've tied a bow to this, so why not? we're going to go through the hole here, and we're just going to tie a bow to the top of this. Tying it like so. And then I'm going to make my 2 bunny ears. 1, 2. I'm going to tie those 2 bunny ears together. Tie a bow whatever way you like. Okay, we've tied our little bow. Then it's going to show us that we want to put this bow directly below the hole on the front. Then we're going to grab our matte red dots. And we're putting 3 on, always following that rule of thirds kind of thing. So I'm just going to put 1 on this holly berry. My stuff isn't exactly like the photo, so 1 on the holly berry there, 1 on this side over here, and then we've got 1 last one up on the top here. So there, that's all done. Got that good. And then it looks like we're going to take this tag here. And we're going to adhere this to the front of this tag. I think we should have tied this on through both. So now I'm going to untie it because I believe it's supposed to hold the back and the front on together. So I'm going to untie it. I'm going to add this one on here. So we're tying these both together. That way, when you go to use this, you can shimmy it sideways and see a gift for you with love. I'm sure that's what we're doing here. Yes. Okay, we're going to tie these together. I'll tie it differently this time. Tie it with a loop tie. Okay. Pull those ends down so I get some nice long ends on there. So we've got that now. Now it's saying to put these 3 dimensionals on the back. Now I'm sure that's because they're just going to pop onto the front of the box just like this. So I am going to put 3 dimensionals on the back of that. 1, 2, 3 dimensionals. Pop those backs off. Now this is kind of, you're wanting this to kind of be the width of the box. Got it maybe just in that measurement size, so that's good. We're going to flip that over and we're going to place this on the box this way, so horizontally. Put those over there. We're going to place that on the box just like this. And now it will actually show when they go to look at the tag. You can actually flip it over and look at the tag. The tag's just kind of loose on there. Isn't that cute? Very nice little box. Put a little gift card in there, some chocolates. It's got a liner in it, so you could put something in there that's, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could probably put a chocolate in there like without a wrapper. I think it would be fine because of that, but who knows? Okay, who knows? Now we're going to go on to number 2. So number 2, we're using a different stamp. We are going to be pulling, we're not going to be pulling this one back in, so I will put that over to be cleaned. So let's grab our next set of stamps. Sending a little Christmas cheer. It's going to be 1 and from our home to yours. From our home to yours. So these 2 are the leftovers. Happy Holidays and the to and from tag, which a to and from tag could be quite useful, right? Make it a little more useful. write the names of the people you're intending to give them to. Okay, so now I'm going to line these up again. So sending a little Christmas cheer, I'm going to use my grid paper to line that up. So it's kind of straight. Make sure I've got this one from our house to yours. Line that up nice and straight. And then I'll take my block, pick it up. Good, ready to go. We are stamping the back of this one. Now, it's calling for it to be quite separate. I think I will just put that one back on here. And then I'm going to give it a little more space. I'm going to try and use my stamping block to see. Okay. Placing on our ink. Now that we did our cleaning and everything, got the residue off of there. I'm going to do a little tester. I'm going to do a little tester over here on my pad of paper. Did I double tap that? I must have double tapped it. Okay. The more times you use a stamp, the better it works. So if you want, you can always just stamp it a few times and just watch it get better and better. You got quite a bit of ink inside here, lots to spare when you're done. They're juicy little pads. Okay. Using my grid paper again, or the edge of a sheet. Then we're just going to stamp that down. No rocking, up and down, straight up and down. Put that aside. That's all the stamping. All the stamping we need. My edges got those little bits on there. So I'm just going to get rid of those. That'll be quite prominent against the green. Perfect. Got that done. Now we need to put all of our adhesives on our embellishments. So we've got these lovely ones here. They don't have a lot of connector pieces. Just a couple few little ones on there. There we go. Another one. And more. Okay, there we go. Such a cool little way of doing things. Coloring one side and keeping the other side blank. So we are gonna flip these over because we want the dark green side. So we're doing this side. We want the light side up on this one, so we're gonna go on the green side. Blah, 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 blah. Little confusing. Little confusing in the instructions because you just have to make sure you get it the right color, right? You got to make sure you're showing the right side before you put your adhesives on. Otherwise, you're putting your adhesive on the front, the side that's meant to be the front, because it's opposites day with these. It's just so much more noticeable when you have something with a white border and these little tabs are showing. They just really pop against something dark. So I'm just going to get rid of them. Likely can't see them on camera. Okay. And then this one, we're going to put our dimensional in the back. So we've got a dimensional in the middle of our bow. We've got glue dots in the center of our top piece here. One kind of over here. Couple on the edges here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Then this one here, we've got one in the top. We've got one on the right side here. One down below and here. Of course, I'm doing these according to the instructions only because sometimes areas will be heightened and you don't want them to have adhesive on them. because it'll cause a ruckus on your project if they start to adhere to the layer below, especially when they're popped up or something, and they're popped up only on one side. So it is good to read the instructions. If you stray, a lot of times you can come back and pull it off if it's not in the right spot. I have gotten caught with that before, but I'm trying not to today. But yeah, everything you need and more in this pack of paper. Okay, so now I'm going to take this one here, place this on top like it's showing, which is 2 circles nice and lined up, and the other side's coming out in the front. Okay, and then we're going to flip this over. We're going to add this to the front here. We've got the bottom of it coming off the end, the top lining up there. Then we have our little bow. Take the back off of that. We're going to add our little bow right into the center here. We're going to take our twine, and this time we're going to add it to here and tie the two together. Now, I can see little bitty bits. There it is. It's on this one. Okay, we've got that. 12 inches of twine. Open up our ruler again. 12 inches. And 12. There we go. Close that up again so we can get back in focus here. Grab our 2 pieces. Thread that through. Nice and halfway. Tie our bow again. And there we go. Nice tied bow. I'm going to shorten it. Get it nice and short, my little bow there. And then we're just putting our dimensions on the back. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Pretty good. Pretty good little project here. Then we'll pull both of them in so we can have a look-see at them. I didn't put on my holly berries. I will do that once I put it on the box. Okay. So we're going to line this up on the front of the box, making sure I'm opening from left to right. I got to get it straight on with this one, not the one on top, right? The one on top can move around, but the other one I got to get it straight on. And then we're opening from left to right. Perfect. And then we're going to grab our holly berries that I didn't put on. We're going to grab a couple of these. Now I can use my poke-it end. Looks like they've got one kind of in here. I can grab my putty end here. Gotta love my putty end. And then the putty end you just push down and off the edge. Of course, having issues. And then we've got one in here. And then we've got one kind of over there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And one kind of over here. 1, 2, 3. Back of our tag says Sending a little Christmas cheer from our home to yours. Put in our little treats. No envelopes in this pack, none needed. We've got a couple of extra ones. Happy holidays in case you want to change your sentiment. But there is our little project for today. Not too bad. Very cute. And they match quite nicely, I think, with last month's kit. Usually it's kind of last, it goes quite well with last month's. Let me see if I can find last month's. And then, take 1 second here. If I can't find it, then won't worry about it. But I did find it. So, if you wanted to, you could use the cards from last month. I think they could go quite nice with that. Look at that. Look at that. Those would go quite nice together. I'm not sure about this one. That green is just a little bit different of a shade. But I do think these ones would go nice. The nice cherry cobbler color goes really good. Very Christmassy stuff. Yes, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope it inspires you and makes you think about, maybe makes you think about like how fun it would be to have this for a Christmas present. Something you could look forward to every month. A little surprise, because of course you don't know what's coming. And yeah, get some savings while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.